You were 10 years old when Dizzee Rascal's Boy in the Corner came out.
Yeah.
Do you remember the impact that had on you?
Do you know what? At the time, I didn't. I'm not gonna lie. Like, at the time, I didn't think, oh my gosh, like this is like. But I think that's what the best music kind of does. Like, you just live with it, and then it's only till later you kind of clock, hang on, that was a little bit iconic, or that was a bit groundbreaking. So at the time, it was just, yeah, sick. Dizzee Rascal, like, sick MC, sick album, but you don't understand what it's done. So yeah.
And it was when Grime, I guess, made its first dent in the mainstream.
Yeah.
Where did it come from? Where did Grime come from, and how did it change over the years?
Where did Grime come from? It's such a longer conversation, even one that I, like, till this day is still going on. But
and it's controversial because some people say it's here and there and
It's
east
some
and
people
south.
say
and
That's
East
why,
London, don't they?
literally, like, you got East London, then people say it comes from like reggae music and dub music and like the dub plate culture in Jamaica. But it's obviously got like some American influence in terms of rap, like the fact that we're doing rap on like instrumentals, dancehall culture, jungle, garage. It's come from everywhere. So it's like this mesh up of London, Caribbean, New York kind of, and then, yeah, it sounds like a mess, isn't it? Like, so explaining that to the listener will sound like, yeah, well, so what exactly is it? Yeah, but it's just this mashup, and it becomes very British, very electronic, very high pace, fast.
Yeah,
tempo.
140
BPM. Yeah.
That's the rule, isn't it? And I mean, hundreds of tracks would come out every month back in the day. Is it still the way it works? And how do they interact with each other? How did the movement sort of start to take off?
It's such a deep and enriched story, like that's even way bigger than myself, and it is a lot, like it just goes further back. Do you know what I mean? And it's a long conversation, but it's grown. It had its first dent in the mainstream when Dizzee released Boy in the Corner, and then
solid.
So solid, do you know?
For South London,
yeah,
South
so solid. This is what I mean. It's just,
it's so
it is
big.
so crazy, so solid crew, and then you have to talk about Heartless crew, and then it's mad. But the history of it is so rich. Like, it's such a rich history, and it's something that till this day I still learn things, and I'm this byproduct of Grime. Like, I grew up on Grime. That built me. It shaped me, and there's still things that, like, you might hear a story about, like when Dizzee Rascal and Wiley was here and they clashed that MC, and it's like, oh, I didn't even know that happened. So it's deep history, man.
What was it like growing up, Stormzy? I mean, being a end of July baby, that means you're one of the youngest in the class. You're also one of the tallest in the class.
Yeah.
You're already, because you've rapped about it, probably one of the blackest in the class as well.
Yeah.
You're also not one of the Caribbean kids, you're one of the African kids.
Mm-hmm.
And how did that play out? Because there's a lot of kind of outlier bits to that, and the outside. Because you've talked about how the girls would ignore you because you were one of the darkest skinned guys. And also as well, I don't know if it was like that when you were growing up, because you're half my age, but when I was growing up, the African kids wanted to be the Caribbean kids.
Yeah.
And the Caribbean kids would take the mickey out of the African.
Yeah.
Was that the similar thing?
Yeah, no. When we was growing up, like, yeah, it's so crazy. That's why, like, it's beautiful to see, like, how far things have come. Although it's a hell of a long way to go. But yeah, when I was growing up, like, you used to get the dark skin jokes, like, about, like, how dark, because I got dark skin. I'm like a dark, exactly. And you get jokes about that and jokes about being African. But now it's like, those are my strengths. Like, that's what, like, yeah, my dark skin's incredible. Like, my African heritage is incredible. So, like, but yeah, growing up, but luckily for myself, I was a tough kid. Like, I wasn't.
You had to be.
You had to be. I wasn't gonna be the butt of everyone's joke. So I kind of soldiered it out. But yeah, no, definitely, it was a backs against the wall kind of thing growing up. Yeah.
So if I was to speak to a selection of your teachers, what do you think they would say about you as a student?
I think they would say good things, you know. I had a really
apart from a playground.
Yeah.
6 A stars at GCSE, right?
Yeah, I didn't do too bad. Yes, yeah. So I did well in my GCSEs, but I was always like, as much as in school, I was always like an idiot and always just so troublesome and a little menace. But it wasn't the malicious type. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't like flipping fighting teachers and that. It was more just like messing around and play fighting and all this.
So who gave you that guidance to not be that? I know the relationship between you and your mother is very, very close indeed. Who gave that? Because you would have seen guys go left field. And now probably in jail and up to all kinds of madness. What stopped you?
I think the idea of success, like from young, I've always wanted to be successful. Like, and that's always been, I've always seen that as a bigger achievement than anything else, than being like a bad boy, than being like the class clown. I always thought being successful is way sicker. Like, that's,
why?
I'm not too sure. I think I was just attracted to success from a young age. Like from a kid, like winning to me was just the thing that's what you want to do. You want to win, whatever it is, whether it's my GCSEs or it's a football match or it's in life. Like, you just want to win. So
but some people see success though as the gold chain. They see success as the guy shotting drugs and driving a nice car. That's success. But that wasn't your definition.
No, do you know what? Yeah, I'm so happy you're asking these questions, because even like when I talk about it with my friends, that's why I'm a man of God. I always like give thanks to God and put my faith in Him. But that's why I always say it's by the grace of God that like I was just able to see that, because it is definitely weird. Because even till this day, I've got friends like from my old area where I used to live who still see like a Rolex as like, oh my gosh, and they still see like, I don't know, they might see like 1 million views on YouTube as like, and my idea of success has always been so much bigger,
Buying a business for your mum and Ghana.
Exactly, like things like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's a blessing really, because it could have been so much different. Because there's friends all around me like that I know, like people that I know who don't have that same like level of ambition. So.
And people that have ended up in prison, like Crazy Titch, who collaborate with on the album.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your faith, because Blinded by Your Grace is one of the most beautiful tracks on the album. It's like an R&B hymn. It's absolutely lovely. It's like you singing, like your vocal.
Yeah. Really, don't know how I pulled it off.
We need to talk about that in a bit.
That is really, really lovely. But just to talk about that competitive nature, it's World Book Day today.
Yeah.
You used to devour books.
Yeah. Looking back, I find it so funny now that I can look back on it, and it was just this little cocky kid basically just trying to be the sickest and just trying to read as many books, so that because basically, so this is primary school, so between the ages of, I don't know, about 7 and 11, every summer the libraries in my borough would hold a book trail where basically kids go there and you read a book and then you write a review for the book and you get a badge for it. And I remember just thinking, do you know what? This is another competition, another opportunity to show my classmates that, yep, I've got this. So I'll just go to the library and just go through all these books and read them, get all these badges. And then when school started back in September, and you do like the open assembly of what's everyone been doing in the summer, and you got kids who someone went on holiday, that guy was playing football, and then you'll get me with my big blanket with like 1,000 badges on it. Like, yep, I read 1,000 books this summer, just sitting there thinking I was the top boy. Like, but yeah, it all comes from that. Looking back is quite funny.
So then, what's really interesting is how often you mention faith and how important it is to you. But also, some people, Stormzy, will see certain lyrics on the album.
Yeah.
The road lyrics, as we would call them, about that kind of bravado of being an MC, and anyone who steps to you, this is what will happen to you, etc. And then see a contradiction in that language with the language of faith, which is about peace, about love, and about righteousness. How do you balance those two things? Is it difficult?
No, it's very difficult. But then I've kind of just adopted this kind of blasé approach to it, and not I don't want anyone to take that the wrong way, but I kind of see it as that's just me. That's just how I am. So there's a day when I feel like, I'm the best MC. Like what? Like no one can't chat to me.
Don't chat nonsense.
No one can chat to me. Like, what are you talking about? And then there's days when I'm feeling that just like I'm so like
spiritual.
I'm just so immersed by like God's grace, and like I'm in the Holy Spirit, and I'm like, wow, like God came through for me, man. Like, that's a mad blessing. Like I have all these different emotions and feel these different things, and they're all a part of me. So I remember like the best way to describe it is that like it's 3-dimensional. It's not just like I'm not just this linear character. Like there's days when like even down to like there's days when I walk out of here and like I just want to get home, and I'm just thinking, I'm with the man them, and they're saying, like let's go, let's chill out, let's go walk down. I'm saying, but I want to go home, man. And there's days when I want to run around and I want to take pictures of everyone and I want to chill here and I want to, do you know what I mean? I'm just a human, man. So I just always want to just try and be as human as possible.
There's a Marshall Mathers and there's an Eminem.
Yeah.
There's a Beyonce and a Sasha Fierce.
Yeah.
And there's a Stormzy and a Michael Omari.
Yeah.
Who's Michael Omari?
Do you know? I don't think they're any different. You know, like because I don't that whole like alter ego thing. I feel I don't know. I feel like sometimes it can be a bit dramatic, but I get it. But with me, I just feel like no. I just want to. It's in the weirdest way possible. I just want to be taken for a human. If you get what I mean, like, and that's like, so that in my life and what I do, I can just do what I like. Because if I'm always being myself and I'm always just being as honest as possible and just staying true to myself and my character and my demeanor, like, then I can do what I like. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I feel like this, I feel like this, and when I don't, I don't. I don't want to be seen as like some pristine like pop star or this rough grime kid. Do you know what I mean? I don't like either ends of those spectrums, like, because. Do you know what I mean? I float in between. Like, some days I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm just.
But the thing about fame, Stormzy.
Yeah.
And I heard this in many interviews I've done in the past, is that it doesn't change you, but it does change people around you.
Yeah, definitely.
And then how do you deal with that? Because suddenly, Ian Brown, you know Ian Brown, an amazing singer from a band called the Stone Roses, and he said he realised he was famous when he went back to his mum's house. And she bought him a cup of tea in a saucer.
Stop it.
And that's how he realised.
Because his mum started
treating him. He was like, this is weird. Like, my family are treating me different. And people are treating me differently. Because fame has happened to you in a relatively short space of time, massively. Yeah. And I loved it I loved watching you at the Mobos when you won that first Mobo.
Oh, yeah.
And then you made a rap about it. Of course I was gassed at the Mobos because I never won a Mobo before.
Never won it. Yeah.
Like that lyric. And then seeing you with Bradley Walsh, weirdly enough, which you were happy about the other day. And then Maisie Williams tweeting. And then Adele shouting you out. And then Ed Sheeran on stage and you on stage at the Brits. How do you maintain a sense of self when so many mad things are happening to you?
Do you know what it is? I've adopted the attitude that I know once you lose yourself. Do you know what, it's actually a Naughty Boy lyric. But I was gonna say, but
that's why I ended up after the Brits in his studio at 5 o'clock in the morning.
He's a madman.
I know.
But the lyric when he says, "If you lose yourself, you lose it all." And I've always kind of figured out that. Yeah, I've always figured out that. If I change, then it's kind of over. Do you know what I mean? Because then, like, I've drifted so far to what actually got me there. Like, what actually has got me to this position. If I change so much from that, then do you know what I mean? I've lost. Yeah, it's done. And plus, I feel like, I don't know. Like, I feel like you need to just stay grounded for your own sanity. Like, when you start like getting immersed in it and man, I'm the guy and like what, like that's when it starts all getting, and I find it strange, especially even for me to take the attitude, like and like, do you know what I mean? Like, come around my friends and family, like, I'm the man, and walk around and be rude to the shop assistants and you know what I mean? All of that, I feel like, nah, like, that's dead. Like, why would I do that? That's just not really a nice person, is it? Like,
so you're definitely not rude to the woman in the Jamaican shop who just when you're trying to get your patty and she's rude to you.
Yeah, in the Caribbean shop. Sometimes there's a little bit of war there, but man, like I don't really
lyrics.
I don't really
personality clash.
Yeah, I don't really get it sometimes, man. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
That wanting to be a human and just wanting to be accepted for just being
exactly
who you are as a human. Was that part of the reason why you decided to put the track Lay Me Bare on the album, which is at least in part about depression?
Yeah. The Lay Me Bare is like it's the final track on the album, and it's kind of like a tell-all, like kind of. I feel like it's the final chapter, and so it fits well at the end of the album. But the reason why I done Lay Me Bare was firstly, it was very therapeutic to like write and just kind of like get it all off and just kind of vent. It was like a proper good venting session for me. But then I also realized for where I'm trying to go and who I'm trying to be, I need to vent and I need to tell my story, which is a bit weird and a bit scary at the same time, because it's like, why do I need to tell I've always, before I was a musician, my whole ethos and one of my rules in life was, you do not let the world know what's going on. As in, if I fall out on my friend, or I'm going through this, or like I don't have no money, the first things first, you do not let the world know. You keep all your stuff to yourself. You keep like your stuff secret.
It's a very man thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a very male thing. Like, it's a very masculine kind of thing. But with music now, it's the total opposite. Like, as in, if I want to connect with people, or if I want to send a message, or I want my music to touch people, I need to tell them everything. Like, as in, I need to tell them about when I fell out with my friend and when I went through that, and when I need to actually say that. I need to say what's going on right now. Like, this happened to me and I was upset, or that happened to me and I was happy. So it's very it's scary. Yeah, it's scary, and it's weird and it's new to me, but yeah, I had to do it to kind of get to that level of artistry that I wanted to.
Because you're close with your friends and your family. But
yeah.
Before you've released this song, before you played it for them, did they know that you'd had depression?
My closest friends knew, and like some of my family knew, like my sister knew, but yeah, like it wasn't a thing that I kind of went around like, yeah, like, yo, this is what's happening, and it's still a kind of thing that you don't really want to like. Yeah, so it's weird.
I know,
but it's crazy, because I know I've got a duty to tell my story and to kind of touch on important things, and I can't kind of run away from it, like, and just put it out there and then not talk. You know what I mean? So, but it's like, yeah. It's a weird time.
How did it affect you? How old were you? What was going on?
It was very recent. Yeah, very recent. Like, so, yeah, I think it was like a moment of time in my life where I couldn't figure. I feel like I've always been able to figure it out. Like, that's been my like. I've always prided myself on that. Like, any situation, figure it out. Okay, cool. Got no money, figure it out. All right. I got to go to college and get my apprenticeship. Okay, I'm gonna figure this out. Like, I've always been like a soldier. Do you know what I mean? In my head, I've always been a soldier, like, figuring it out. But for once, I couldn't figure it out, and that was just like, well, right, cool. I don't know how we're gonna get out of this one. But,
so how did you?
I figured it out. I figured it out, but I'm still trying to figure it out. If I'm being dead honest, I'm still trying to figure it out, and I don't think it's not a bad thing that I'm still trying to figure out. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.